Hi, I'm Tom Heider. I'm a volunteer docent at the Umlauf Sculpture Garden here in Austin, Texas. We've got over 50 pieces of work by Charles Umlauf spread around the garden. And today I'd like to introduce you to a few of my favorites and some of the more spectacular works by Charles Umlauf. You'll kind of get a real feel for the talents of Charles. The piece right behind me might be considered by most to be the piece that truly launched Charles Umlauf's career. This piece is called War Mother, and it was created in 1939. We all know what happened in September of 1939. The Nazis invaded Poland and launched World War II. Charles, like so many others in the country, was overcome with emotion when he watched movie reels and saw pictures in newspapers and magazines of the plight of the refugees. And he was so inspired that without any kind of a commission, purely on his own, he created War Mother. At that time, Charles was living in Chicago, and there was an art exhibition late 1939, early 1940 in Chicago, and artists from around the area were all invited to enter various pieces of work. Charles entered War Mother. The leading art critic at that time for the Chicago Tribune wrote an interesting article about that exhibition, and much to Charles' surprise, he mentioned War Mother in his article. And what did that art critic say? He said War Mother might be the ugliest piece of art he'd ever seen. Holy cow! That criticism was probably the best thing that ever happened to Charles, because the rest of the art community in Chicago came to Charles' defense, and they said, no, you've got it wrong. This isn't ugly. This is a masterpiece. Well, this got a lot of publicity, and it was picked up by UPI and AP, and the story kind of spread around the country. And somebody down here in Austin, Texas, at the university, read about it. And at that time, the art department at the university was brand new. And folks started talking amongst themselves, and they said, I wonder if the guy who created this would be interested in coming and joining our new art department. So they extended an offer to Charles. And Charles and his wife Angie debated, gee, do we leave Chicago? This is our home, this is where our family is. But at that time, remember, our country was still in the midst of the Depression. And Charles had been basically a starving artist for several years. So he and his wife decided, yes, let's take the offer and move to Austin. And that's why we say War Mother is really the piece that launched the career of Charles Umlauf.